In this video, I'm going to share with you this excellent summit pack from Eddie Bauer that I've used to climb a couple of mountains. I'm going to share the highlights, the parts that I like, give you an overview of what the pack looks like, take all the things out, show you what it can pack in, then pack the things back in, including a couple of other items. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you some of the downsides so you can better decide if this pack might be right for you or it might be a thumbs down. So let's get right down to this. This backpack is from Eddie Bauer. It's the 30-liter Highpoint, so it has a 30-liter capacity. Now, full disclosure here, I am not sponsored by Eddie Bauer. I do not receive money from Eddie Bauer. I paid for this pack using my own funds, well, actually my credit card's funds, but eventually I paid for this pack, so I did not receive this pack for free or in kind or anything like that. It's just me at the store chunking down the money and coming home and using this pack. So hopefully that clears the air with that. So let's get right down to it. As you can see, this 30-liter pack is actually designed to be a taller, narrower pack rather than some of the fatter packs that I've used, like my JanSport pack. Now, my JanSport's one of my favorite packs to use as a summit, but it's a little fat and heavy, and it doesn't work well totally on the shoulders. It's pretty good, but I think not as good as this. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like on me. I'm going to flip it around here, turn there. You can see what the pack looks like here. It has a waist belt, well, not really a waist belt, more like a waist strap. That's useful only if you're wiggling back and forth sideways. I'll show you what it looks like in the back. It's actually pretty narrow because here are my arms, and you can see my arms just to the side of the pack. So when I reach back, I don't have this kind of fighting awkwardness, which is really nice for that. The straps work very well. The foam in the straps is very stiff, so the straps don't crunch down and become ropes on the shoulders, which is really, really nice. That is an excellent feature because there's a couple packs I actually use the Eddie Bauer, I think they're 20-liter fast pack or whatever it is. Super inexpensive, pack's tiny, but the shoulder straps are the kicker because they thin out. I've climbed the Grand Teton with my little backpack. It was okay, but I would have preferred this because this has a lot of stuff in it. So what I'm going to do now is break all the contents out of this pack just to show you how much I've got packed in here. And then I'll show you the different features and why you might care about it. Now this is an interesting pack because it has 3 compartments in here. So it's a little bit different than other backpacks. I've got hats, got that. I'm gonna unzip this guy. Now, all of the zippers have zipper pulls that are little ropes with toggles on here. Some people may not like that, but when you're wearing gloves, having zipper pulls is a really, really nice feature. I've got my Yeti in here, my fleece jacket that I crammed all that in there. Then in the main hatch, I have my mountaineering gloves, my Nalgene, my shell parka, and my puffy coat. And what else is in here? That's it. Pretty good selection of stuff. Now I'm going to show you different packing options that this pack can do as well. But first, we're going to go over the basic features of the pack so you have a better idea of if it might be good for you. Now, here's some down feathers. As you can see here, there are 3 hatches. There is the main hatch on the pack, the secondary, which is I like to call it the forward hatch, and then interestingly, instead of a real small pocket, this actually has a full-length pocket here that you can put even more material. So if you're if you're a person that likes to ferret things away and is highly organized, breaks things down in a very systematic fashion, this pack is definitely a consideration for you because all of these different pouches and pockets work really well. The backpack has a water bladder sleeve here, so you can drop your water bladder in there if you're that type of person. And a very nice feature is they put the water bladder hangers on here as well. A couple of little Velcro cords, or actually I guess a Velcro strap, so you can hang your water bladder. And in the back there's the little water droplet icon, and I can stick my finger through there, and you can see that that's where you would run your water bladder hose and over your shoulder to drink. The top handle is a little bit small, maybe a little bit smaller than I would like, but a lot of times the only reason to pick it up is, or to use it, is to pick up the pack to put it on. So I don't really want to waste too much space and weight on this top strap, but that's a pretty good feature. You'll see inside here, this is actually a mesh. This isn't solid fabric. This is a mesh, and you can just see the foam inside there. It's some sort of sliced up foam, but it's very, very stiff. I can't even, I can still squeeze about 110, 120 pounds. I'm in my mid 40s, and it's very hard to squeeze there. So that is pretty good. The overall backpack straps have a human shape. I'll put them on me again just to show you, where instead of just going straight down, which is always cuts into your neck, the straps actually come out and then waggle around. I'll show you here what they look like when they're set down. So this actually leaves room for your neck. That is a vastly superior design to backpacks that have just straight straps, because often they end up sawing your neck. You get chafing and rashes. It's really irritating. So for the people who suffer from that sort of issue, the rounded shoulder straps that actually contour your body more ergonomically are really nice. The pack also has a sternum strap, which I also call the anti-breathing strap. You can see here it's sewn solid. It has a basic 1-inch nylon buckle, clips in and out. The left side, the fixed buckle, doesn't come off. I mean, this is a fixed thing, so you're not going to lose it. And it's adjustable. It's got about a 5-inch space of adjustability here. Moves up and down pretty easy. The same thing with this side. There is a little bit of bungee on here. So as you're walking along, it can stretch, and you get about 1.5 inches or 2 of variation. For my centimeter folks, 4 inches is about 10 centimeters, and 2 is about 5 centimeters. So pretty good there. Now, before I forget, let me get the weight of this pack. And the one nice thing about this pack is it is super, super light. How light? Well, stay tuned. Going to turn on my handy Balanza. I'll put a link below to every product I've used in this video. So you can see here it reads 0. And I'm going to reweigh it back here. Okay, just about 1.8, 1.9 pounds. Oh, there we go, finally. Now, 1.9 pounds is just around 1 kilogram. So quite easy for 30 liters of volume. That's actually pretty handy for a pack weight there. Now, before I get into all the business on here, you might notice this little puffy pouch in the bottom here. This actually has an integrated rain cover that comes with the pack already, which is really nice. Now you can ditch the rain cover to reduce some weight, or you can also use this bottom pouch for some extra storage, but it comes with, the pack automatically comes with a rain pouch, which is really nice. There's a strap in here, so you can double this strap over. And now when you first buy the pack, they don't fully strap it, so it's a little bit easy to drop out, but you can easily weave this strap through here. It'll fit a little bit, and then lock that strap in, and then it won't come off your pack. And then you can just simply pull the rain cover over the pack, and voila, you're ready to go. So the integrated rain cover on the pack is really nice. Of course, it's got the advertising. I'm not totally down with that. I mean, you could always take a black Sharpie and just totally scrub that off if you don't want to advertise Eddie Bauer. So some people might be away with that. Plus, I'll put a link below. But that is a nice feature to have. And for the people who like to ferret material away, this extra little pouch on the bottom is really nice. It's got a standard zipper with a zipper pull. So having that integrated pack for those sudden showers or snowstorms or whatever you might get hit with are really good. Now, the pack, really nice, it has taped over seams So they're actually contained, which is a really good thing because a lot of packs, inexpensive packs, will come with seams that aren't taped over and they're very weak. So this double taping system makes the pack much stronger. So backpacks in this price class, not all packs have this, and this makes it a lot stronger. It's a critical feature. Now, also you might think if you're just doing traveling, how big is this back pouch that's meant for your water bladder? Well, I have my MacBook Air. It's an M1 13-inch, and I will show you that it fits pretty much exactly right down into the pack. The back is highly padded, so there is some protection. There's not a lot of protection on the bottom, so that might be something you might want to put a little bit of foam on because it might hit a hard surface kind of easy. But a 13-inch MacBook Air, the new M1 style, fits incredibly well in here. It's almost designed for that. That is a very nice feature. Now, you can see here inside the pack, there's lots of space. That's pretty nice, but I'll give you a couple downsides at the end of the video again. And again, you can see in here, all the way down inside the pack. And then this huge front sleeve is a little bit weird for me, but if you have taller material or items that you're going to carry on your summit bit or whatever you're doing, it's actually pretty handy there. So it goes all the way down, and you can see that it has this little mesh strap with a few direct mesh pockets. That's okay. It's a little bit floppy for my taste. I don't know if I'd put much of anything in there, but you could put a couple of food bars or something there. Now on to the technical aspects of this pack. Let me zip it up and clip it up here, just so it doesn't flop around. You'll see these straps, and I'll talk about those in a moment, but this also has an external sleeve, which is really nice. If you have crampons and you want to store those bad boys, you can actually just slip them down in there so you don't have to bury your crampons. These are Gravel G12 crampons. And if I put it all the way in there, it actually fits pretty well, and I'm confident that my crampons won't fall out, which is really important when you're mountaineering. Now, as you can see here, I've got a couple straps, and I'm going to explain that to you. But first, I need to restuff the pack. So I've got the pack fairly packed up. It's not super overloaded, but this is a lot of gear for a summit bid pack. Oh, also, I forgot to show you the little lock here, pretty handy. But now I'm going to show you what all these other little features do on the pack. Now, these loops here are for your ice axe. So I've got my black diamond venom here. I've got the tip protectors. So if I put the ice axe through here and flip it over, this little bungee cord here can come over here, and I can draw this bungee cord down, and it will hold my ice axe completely safely with the point and adze hooked out. And I'll show you what that looks like on the back. Pretty nice. That actually is a very good feature, but one of the downsides of this particular fixed structure on the pack is that you can't really just cowboy out your ice axe. You really have to stop and sit down and get your axe out. That's just a personal thing. I've seen some climbers love to be able to do that. So if you're a person that likes to samurai out your ice axe, it may not work for you, so good point. But I'm going to talk about one of the downsides here is if you have a really long traditional glacier ice axe like mine, the 65 centimeter Raven Pro, for instance, and I put this bad boy into the strap and flip it up, you'll see that there is no way that I'm going to be able to pull this bungee over without destroying it and ruining the bungee to capture my ice axe. So this setup for the ice axe holders is really for the shorter type ice axe, like the Venom or the Camp or something. Totally works here, but the 65-inch Glacier ice axe, forget it for the strap. However, there you could certainly run, like chop it off or loop a little bit of paracord in here and just tie it up. So the pack, even though you can't use the built-in hardware with it, there's still the ability to loop this around and quickly capture your ice axe without too much problem. So that's actually a pretty good feature there. Do note that there are 2 straps. So if you decide to go totally climbing crazy and you need to have 2 ice axes here, there are 2 different straps to hold 2 different ice axes. So if you're doing ice climbing or you need to be more versatile, this pack actually does it, which is really, really nice. Most packs only come with a single ice axe loop, which sucks. Having 2 ice axe loops and 2 attachment points means you can carry 2 ice axes and do some serious climbing. This might be a little light for hardcore winter climbing, but you get the idea here. It works pretty well. Just the downside of the built-in is not easy to use with a longer ice axe, but if you're climbing like that, you're probably not going to be carrying a glacier ice axe. Now, I'm going to show you what the, there we go, ice axe falls down. What the capability is for holding trekking poles. The side pockets, I would say, are just a touch short for holding trekking poles. So if I put the trekking poles here and I have one of the retention and compression straps and I pull it down, that's a pretty reasonable height above. But this pocket is just a touch short, so a little bit okay there. So I'll pull those out, but you get a good idea of what works there. Also, if you want to put your thermos or something in here, it works pretty well. Now this is actually quite tall for a thermos. It works fine there. How about a Nalgene full of water? Fits very well. I would say it's highly confident to be able to hold that material there. Let's see what else on here. The pull straps. Everything is double zipped, which is a very nice feature. And let's see, crampons fit in there. So even when the backpack is fully loaded and you jam your crampons in there and we put the pack on. Now the pack does get pretty tall out there. So when you put the crampons out way out there, it makes your butt look pretty big. But I think that's pretty reasonable given the cost and the size and the dimensions of the pack. Now, as I said before, and you can also put your little first aid kit in there somewhere, but if you wanted to put your, say your Zrest pad in this guy, it's a little bit cozy. So you gotta really mush that down. This isn't a super tall summit pack because it is not designed to carry a rope, but it's a little bit awkward. So I'd say that's, but that is a downside of the pack if you need to carry a Zrest like this. It's pretty awkward. Another downside too is it doesn't have an integrated strap. So if you wanted to almost make this into a backpacking backpack, if Eddie Bauer had added an extra strap set down here to add the bottom of, add something to the bottom of the pack, that would have been really nice. Downside of that, extra weight for a feature you might not use, since this is one of the primary downsides of the balancing of how Eddie Bauer did this pack is that the main compartment is a little bit narrower than I would like. It's a little more compressed and flat, so it's folded closed. The second compartment is about two-thirds of the depth of the main compartment. So if you like to have the mega stuff bag where you're just going to pile all your gear and kit in and drop it in there, forget it. This is not the pack for you. You don't want to go. Don't click away yet. I'm going to tell you some more stuff. All right, here are 3 of my different avalanche shovels or snow shovels for snow backpacking. I've got my little deploy, the big guy, and then my supersized Telepro, the Walleye. For an avalanche shovel or safety or backcountry shovel, this pack does pretty well. Now you could actually load all of your stuffs in here, and if you needed your shovel in an emergency, you can see this guy fits perfectly well into here, almost like it was designed for it. So if you're really climbing and you need to have that shovel handy, and you could put your avalanche poles in here, this shovel, the smaller one, fits very well. Obviously, it fits into the main hatch quite well, but it's nice to get that away from your body. The next size up, the Deploy, I think it's a 7. I'll put a link below. They've changed the product name since I purchased these. It doesn't quite fit in the outer pouch well, but it still does fit. You don't have to force it in, but it's right to the absolute limit. And then the zipper, I would say that's a little too snug. However, if we decide to go with putting the shovel into the main pouch, it fits fine, still comfortably well, but it's still pretty close. So this would be an absolute limit of height here. You wouldn't want it any taller, so if your avalanche shovel doesn't shrink down any smaller, you're toast. And then my main heavy-duty polar expedition shovel, obviously that's not going to fit in. It doesn't fit into any pack. But if you break this apart and you really need to dig your buddies out in a pinch, well, it's just a little bit snug there. Now, you could always put the avalanche or the handle in here. So if you need a seriously tall shovel or one that breaks apart like my Volley, again, downside there, this pack may not be for you. My Black Diamond Speed Pack, link below to the video. That might be a better choice if you really need a shovel this substantial. Maybe this pack isn't for you as well. So that is a definite downside. Obviously, for the ski mountaineers and people that like to ski out of bounds or OB, this has no straps for skis. You might be able to jury rig it on here, but I don't know if that's going to be the right pack for you. So if you say, hey, can I put skis on here? It's got one set of straps, but not two. I would not say this would be the pack for you. 2, the waist belt is symbolic at best. Let me restuff the pack just to give it a little bit of volume. And really, this waist belt is not something that it really takes off a lot of weight off your body at all. This is much more focused on keeping the pack stable on your body. So when I put this on here, the waist strap, I'll call this a strap, not a belt, is pretty easy to handle. And it flips out, but you can see this doesn't even come close to covering the iliac crest. So what I use this for, more importantly, is if I'm climbing around and I've got some weight in here, I put 25 pounds in here, and it's comfortable. I mean, that's about the limit I can stand without a waist belt. But more importantly, when I click this together, if I'm climbing or doing some sort of moves and I move left or right, the pack isn't going to twist around on me, which I've had packs without the waist strap flipped around and knocked me off. It was not enjoyable. So see here, the pack can really pull around if you don't have things too tight. But adding this little strap with just a modicum of padding is pretty nice. So downside for you, if you like to carry a lot of weight and you need that waistband or the waist belt support, forget it. This will not work for you. It's more of a stabilizing comfort strap. Also, another potential downside is if you don't want to use this, there's no way to pouch this in and make the waist strap disappear. The best you're going to be able to do is this, to be able to clip it down. So this buckle can push on your back in this point, and that's not that great. So if you're carrying it, I would loosen this up so the strap falls below the lower point of your back here so you don't have that buckle there. I wish there was a way that Eddie Bauer would have put sleeves so you can contain this a little bit and hide this. I might modify the pack just to do that. So if that is an issue for you, again, full disclosure, this pack won't be for you. But for keeping the pack from flipping around, for long distance and climbing, I would put this on all the time just to keep myself safe, because if I get into some crazy situation or else then I slip and tumble. I don't want the pack coming over my head. I don't want it coming around my arms. This strap makes a huge difference in the safety when I'm climbing light duty mountains like Mount Hood or Borah or Gannett Peak or anything like that. No problem there, highly effective. Lots of volume, almost too much volume. We're almost tempted to carry some gear. But in the winter, this actually works very well because you can put your puffy and your jacket and your fleece and your gloves and all this other rigmarole into this pack. If you're just getting started, a newbie, this pack is probably more than you could possibly need as a rookie, but it has enough that you can grow into it. The price is great and highly reasonable. 1/4 of the price of my Black Diamond Speed Pack 40. That thing's expensive. You could totally get into mountaineering, go to your local Eddie Bauer, check out the links below, and get this pack and have a heck of a lot of adventures and fun. The fabric is pretty durable and it is decently thick. It does not feel cheap at all. I feel confident that this pack will last me a while. You can see I haven't shredded the bottom of it, but I plucked off a few of the sewing here. So it's something that that is the climbing risk of all. Hopefully this is all useful to you. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer, oddly enough, and a professional adventurer. Please check out the links below to my show World Beyond and Antarctic Tears, and also my books, Adventure Expedition 1, Antarctic Tears, Lost at Windy Corner, How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold, the Jackson Hole Hiking Guide, and the 2024 Total Eclipse Guides, as well as several other books and media that I have for you to help you enjoy the outdoors, experience what it's like to do some crazy things, and have a good time. Thank you very much. Please like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care and be safe in your adventuring.